Hello to everyone. I will first show a few examples from this heritage Facebook groups, some posts that were published in those groups that I analyzed and researched. And we have here the moment when first tramway has traveled across the river Sava when the new bridge was built from 1979. It was published, this photo and text, in one of these Facebook heritage groups dedicated to Zagreb. And the other photo is from the Facebook heritage group from Zadar. Young people are going with these special kinds of automobiles, or I don't know how to call it in English, karići in Croatian. And it is also some memory from the young days, some photo from the family album or so, published in this Facebook heritage group. Research questions that I tackled in this research were which heritage Facebook groups and pages exist about Croatian cities, what are their characteristics, what are the attitudes of leaders of these Facebook groups and pages about possibility of migrating heritage content from these groups and pages to digital libraries of Croatian heritage institutions. Here are the groups and pages from Facebook that I identified. There is one page from Facebook split on Facebook, and all the other type of Facebook sites were Facebook heritage groups from Split, from Osijek, Zagreb, Zadar, Dubrovnik, and finally Bjelovar. So this is the original name in Croatian, and this is my translation in English, and I will use that English translation later in the slides. Let's hear something about this recent findings and theoretical approaches and definitions. Andrew Flynn defines community archive as the grassroots activities of documenting, recording, and exploring community heritage in which community participation, control, and ownership of the project is essential. One example of community archive that he mentions is My Brighton and Hove, about locations in England, Brighton and Hove, and this site is entirely volunteer run and controlled. Andrew Flynn writes that people who submit content for such community archives may be more knowledgeable or have important different understandings about what is being published and commented upon from those of professional or academic heritage workers. Creators of these archives often have political and cultural motives to counter absences, silences, forgetting, and misrepresentations relating to a particular group or community in mainstream archives. However, the motivation for the community archiving activities doesn't need to be political. The motivation could also spring from the need to present, celebrate, and document a certain location, town, village, region. The phenomenon of community archiving is not viewed positively by all heritage professionals. In fact, the opinion may prevail that archiving and related heritage activities outside professional heritage circles are unprofessional or non-archival activities which lead to improper history making. But professional heritage communities in some countries have rejected such a view. For example, there is a United Kingdom Archive Task Force report in which there is also an assertion that archives in the community were as important to society as those in public collections. Benoit and Droschly propose that archival profession should enhance its support for the creation and preservation of community archives. Considering the fact that there are many retrospective Facebook groups with huge quantity of content, among which are also groups focused on heritage information about various cities, the challenges of long-term preservation and sustainability of these groups are very important. There is a need for community archives to have plans for depositing collections in authorized heritage institutions. The challenge is to create partnerships that will respect autonomy of community archives, their aims, and vision of their funders. 6 years ago, I made one study, conducted some research related to one of these Facebook heritage groups focused on city heritage. It was the group Zagreb, kakav je bio nekada, or in English, Zagreb as it used to be. I will present some parts of that research for you to take some perspective insights about functioning of that kind of a group. This study has provided insights into the activities of members of the Facebook heritage group Zagreb, kakav je bio nekada. This Facebook group was created with the goal to publish all the images of the city of Zagreb. Every member of this group can publish images and describe them. In the year 2016, group had about 33,000 members. 200 image posts were analyzed in that research. Posts were published from January 1st to January 17th in 2016. On average, each post attracted about 150 likes, 7 comments, 4 shares. It is evident that this user community is very active. It had many posts published, and they had initiated many reactions of group members. We can see distribution of posts with images created in different time periods. The largest number of posted images were created in the period from 1961 to 1987, about 27% of images and posts, and the period from 1901 to 1940, majority of posts were related to that older period, about 43%. The members predominantly like the most recently created images. They will click the button like for this mostly recently created images. The older the image, the fewer likes on average it will get from members, the fewer comments, shares, and so on. 200 posts were posted by only 23 contributors. That means that every contributor posted about 9 posts on average. There is a great variability in the number of posts published by individual contributors. Contributor 1 wrote 69 posts, or as much as about 35% of the total number of posts. Here we can see the distribution of contributors' contributions. And now I'm going to this research that I made recently in this year. I already said what were the research questions. So the aims of research was to answer on these questions, and they are listed here. Purpose of the research is to point out the possibilities and the need for mutual cooperation of Facebook heritage communities with the public library, archives, museum sector in order to enable long-term preservation of that content and better conditions for public to use that content, because now that content is this Facebook platform commercial, non-predictable, and so on. The research methods were content analysis of the Facebook heritage groups and pages, and interviews with the leaders of these Facebook heritage groups. And the research sample included Facebook groups and pages about Croatian cities, about heritage of these cities with more than 30,000 inhabitants. So now we will see these unified results, tables with unified results related to these groups and pages that I identified. Again, this table with the names of these Facebook sites, and here are the list of the Croatian towns which has more than 30,000 inhabitants. And in this column on the right, we can see how many groups, retrospective Facebook groups, I identified. So there are many cities which doesn't have these retrospective Facebook groups and pages, or maybe they have, but I didn't identify them. Zagreb has 2 Facebook sites of that kind, split 2, Rijeka 1, Rijeka 0, sorry, Osijek 1, as other 2, Dubrovnik 1, Bjelovar 1, and other cities don't have this kind of sites. And here is the list with these Facebook sites with some information when the certain site was created. For example, we can see that all the sites are from 2009. For example, Bjelovar in the picture, historical images of Dubrovnik. And the most recent sites are from 2015, for example, split on Facebook. Majority of these sites are groups. Only one Facebook page split on Facebook. Majority have public access, and few of them are private groups, so you have to ask permission to join the group. In regard to members of these groups, we can see that the largest group is Zagreb, how it used to be, with almost 80,000 members. And the smallest group is Bjelovar in the picture, with about 3,600 members. And that, of course, depends on the largeness of the city. Bjelovar is a small city, and Zagreb is a much bigger city. So it depends on that. And we can also see what is their collecting period, until which, up to which year they are collecting photos, maps, videos about city heritage. And we can see that some groups and pages don't have this defined, but for example, Split Through History is collecting and this content up to the year 2000. Osijek in the 80s, as the name suggests, collect the materials from 1980s. And for example, Zagreb, how it used to be, collects materials up to the year 1987. And historical images of Dubrovnik up to the year 1950. So we can see differences that depends probably about the decision of creators of those groups. In the second table, we can see, for example, that almost all groups have some rules how to conduct for their members, not to insult anybody, not to be political, and so on. We can see also from this data, for example, posts published in last 30 days, the activity of certain Facebook sites of this kind. We can see, for example, that Zagreb, how it used to be, is very active group. It had 407 posts published in last 30 days from the moment that I found these results. And some groups are not active or inactive. For example, Split on Facebook didn't have any posts published in last 30 days. The groups have administrators from 1 to 8. Only one group has moderators, free moderators. And only one group has a related web page, some kind of web archive of these materials from Facebook, and that group is Split Through History. Now I will present a little bit more about specific groups from this list. Split on Facebook, here are the example of posts. For example, the post on the right side, we have this text in Croatian, but I will translate it. 1914. The guy is sending a postcard to his girl in Hungary. Hello, everybody. That's the text. And we can see this old postcard. Here is some text found on that site. This page is created out of love for old photos of Split, is intended for education, maintaining memories. Everything can be published except ads and commercials. Politics is off, no profanity or insults. The founder of this Facebook page is Mišo Živalić, Split lawyer, musician, collector of old photos, and lover of Split and Dalmatia. In this text, we can see the word love, and emotions, love, nostalgia are important elements and motivations for members and creators of these groups, and that is noticed also in literature that is researching that topic. So I will just put some focus on that now. So we have another Facebook group, Split Through History, and also some examples. On the left side is panorama of Split, photographed between 1885 and 1819, two photographs which were merged. And on the right side, we have a postcard from 1969, and we can see in that post the front page of this postcard and opposite page with the text with this also mark, and probably some of you will know who is in this photo mark, how to say it. This group was founded with the aim of getting to know the history of Split better through old photos, customs, documents, Parallel to the group, a blog page split through history was created where photos are saved in albums. And also in 2018, the association was founded in which everybody is welcome to join. And through that association get some funding, some ideas and everything related to development of this community and this Facebook group. We also have some guidelines on the page, how to use it, how to find photos, because administrators have found out that users are not very good at finding photos, and they are giving these advices. We have some rules that, for example, each post in the group must contain the description and so on. Here is the Facebook group Osijek in the 80s. We can see two examples. This picture on the left doesn't need any explanation, and this post from the right, we can see some photo from the Railway Society, and in the upper part of that post we can see some text with dedication related to that event that was documented on the photo. Group admin rules, they all need to work together in a friendly atmosphere. We treat everyone with respect. Healthy discussions are normal, but courtesy comes first. So these are rules to maintain a good atmosphere and the civil conduct in this group. 80s in Zagreb, we can see some examples of the post. For example, it was maybe 5-6 decades ago when we have these ships almost in the middle of the town, but today it is not anymore. It is hard to find these kind of situations. The group was created in 2014 for all children who were born and survived the 70s and 80s in Zagreb. And this group has very interesting administrator manifesto, who they are, what they are looking for, remembering the old times. And this is only one part of this manifesto, which has many humorous elements. For example, first we survived and were born normal, even though our mothers took aspirin when they had a headache, ate canned food, smoked and worked until the last day of pregnancy, and were never tested for diabetes. So that kind of manifesto will probably motivate members to also, in some cases, take this humorous approach and easygoing, and it is evident in many posts in this group. Okay, I will go fast. I have this Facebook Insights, and I will present just from one group, this Facebook Insights. It is Zagreb, how it used to be, the largest group. We can see that there are many reactions to the post published in this group, almost 200,000 total members. It is not written here because I made a mistake, but I will say it now. It is about 80,000 members. There are approximately the same percentage of women and men, the members of this group, and the majority of members are in the age range from 25 years to 54. Members come from cities that are listed here, majority from Zagreb, and there are also the members from other Croatian towns, but from everywhere around the world. So you can see from this countries list, except Croatia, where majority of members is living, we have members from Germany, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and so on. I also got answers from two administrators from the two groups. Unfortunately, majority of them didn't answer to my call to answer to this interview, and I will present just a few answers. For example, administrator of the group Zagreb, as it used to be, said that the reason to create this group was primarily for the love of the city of Zagreb and what Zagreb once represented in Europe as a center of advanced economy and culture. I will have to go fast through this. This is interesting. What do you think would be the best way to ensure the long-term preservation of the contents? Maybe the answer will sound outdated, but I think that the answer lies in the learning and upbringing of new generations, in encouraging the development of empathy towards the hometown, in explaining the old values. The other group have backup of the materials on their computers. The Zagreb group, I think not. Both administrators are willing to cooperate with heritage sector, but nobody has contacted them. And this is also interesting. What, in your opinion, could be possible challenges or obstacles in cooperation with heritage institutions from the public sector? And administrator of the group, Zagreb, as it used to be, said that, to be honest, the only reason could be political in nature. It is known that representatives of the current political elite use historical facts, turning them into falsifications and untruths for personal political gain. That would be the only obstacle. I will now conclude because the time is out. I have some elements for the discussion. It would need 20 minutes maybe, so we don't have so time. But I'm open to questions for you. Thank you.